You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk, or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
This freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can't achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, coming to you live right now from KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. We do this thing usually on time every Sunday, Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we're at about 11:41 p.m. Eastern. We had some issues with the previous show, the Jen and Rick show, and thanks to that, we're getting a really, really late start. Because of that, this is actually going to be a station standard show. So for those of you that are used to me taking breaks about every 30 seconds, that ain't happening on this one. I also have a guest with me this evening. We are joined by Jessica Sanders from Jesse's POV, and also now the available on iHeart Jess's Coffee Shop. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding, Rick. And for once, I can actually talk both politics and international and military affairs. Because you don't think you're getting one without the other tonight, do you?
Yeah, well, not as long as the mental midget of the North is still all over the news. I figured he'd come up at some point.
Oh, you mean...
Well, I know that's how you talk about him on your show, but this is his sound effect over here. I'm so lonely. Just saying.
I know, but it's still fun to have. Now, I actually do have something of a little bit of intrigue to mention. If anybody missed my show or you don't regularly listen to Jesse's POV, I had a pretty special interview tonight that I played. Longtime United States Navy SEAL friend Wild, and that is his call sign, agreed to come on the air. And I've been trying to get Wild on the air since I started almost. So, and you know Wild, Rick.
Yes, I do. Which means I'm going to have to go back and actually listen to that. Because sadly, right about the time you went on air, I was just finally getting to sit down to dinner. So I'm going to have to check it out tomorrow.
Oh, that's okay. That's why it's available where most podcasts are found, and I'm not going to go into the list because just like yours, it's long.
Too long. We really need to get somebody that actually has an announcer voice to sit down and record a little blurb that we can just play when we want to let everybody know where the shows are. Because there's a lot of podcasts now, thanks to Miss Ann, who is tirelessly looking for new places to put us. She actually, I don't know if she's talked to you yet this week, but she told me that she has 5 more that she's working on right now. It's if she makes the list any longer, it's going to take me the entire hour of my show to give out everywhere they could find the show.
Well, I got news for you. She sent me a text, something about 15 more.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got that text yet, but, actually, let me check my phone. No text yet.
Remember, we work day job together.
But,
We work day job together, so sometimes I get something ahead of schedule. Now, she's also working on streamlining a few things, too. So she is one of those tireless little worker bees. Have you tried dragging her on the air lately?
Yeah, I usually get a not only no, but hell no.
Okay, so her telling me to take that idea and stick it isn't news?
Knowing her, I don't think the words she used were actually stick it, but no, it's not surprising.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I was getting the same treatment as everybody else here. Anyway.
Yeah, she's more a behind-the-scenes type. I mean, I think she has occasionally made an appearance, but it's usually if we get a show that's done a show with us for a while and they make an announcement about doing a goodbye show. I think I'm pretty sure she's been on at least one, but I actually missed that too. But I've heard that she made an appearance on Real Serious Nonsense on their finale show here about a year ago, roughly. So, yeah, she has at least appeared once, I think.
I heard of twice.
To do it
but yeah, it was a call-in for a goodbye show thing. So she just won't come on the air, but I guess that's the way she likes to roll. Anyway.
Pretty much.
I have a theory that I've been wanting to bounce off you for a while, and it's got enough politics in it to probably catch your intrigue, and it's got enough international affairs to keep me talking for a good, cool minute. All right. You remember the very controversial time when our former commander-in-chief, or as I often referred to him as, was Turkey-in-Chief, a.k.a. President Barack Obama, essentially shipped a plane load of cash over to Tehran, Iran. And what you probably don't know, and I've pieced together, that there were diplomatic meetings, intense diplomatic meetings, and numerous ones between Iran and North Korea in the months following that plane load of cash. I'm talking about starting 60 days out. Now, what makes this even more of intrigue is that shortly after that particular plane load of cash came flying in, not only did we get our prisoners back, well, guess what? North Korea started making leaps and bounds in technology. Now, for those of you who aren't regular listeners to my show but listen to Rick's show, I'm going to tell you North Korea is a weapons proliferation state. They develop it, they sell it. So I'm willing to bet North Korea either has funded or is funding a large portion, Iran has funded or is funding a large portion of the recent developments in North Korea weapons technology that we are seeing. They've also been known to trade scientists back and forth. So what do you think that it might be United States money that is funding the threat we are currently facing?
Duh. Oh, I'm sorry. But no, I mean, come on. It's kind of obvious. I mean, that's just like, that now just another little bit of connect the dots here. So we unfreeze Iran's assets because, this new deal, which is remarkably similar to Clinton's new deal with the very same other country that we're talking about right now that was supposed to make everything better. Because remember, North Korea was supposed to stop pursuing nuclear missiles. They were supposed to stop using nuclear energy for anything other than an energy source. And that's what we were promised in the 90s. So then we reset it and we try it with Iran. So we unfreeze their assets. We give them back all of this money that they haven't had access to for a very, very long time. And of course, all the lefters are like, but Rick, it's their money. They should have it back. And then Iran has been secretly funding North Korea and their nuclear missile project with the money that we gave them.
Bingo!
I sense President Mom Jean's not very good at this diplomacy thing.
I'm entitled to agree with you. Then you have Iran also making up with Hamas, who they broke off relations with many moons ago. And, of course, they're well known for funding Hezbollah. Add to that, well, they just launched a missile over Japanese territory. Now, I must say that I had to double and triple check my facts on this, but because it was up so high and they were very tactically careful on this, it technically did not violate Japanese airspace. I originally thought it had, but it did not violate Japanese airspace. It was over, because there is actually an upper limit on a country's airspace. And
yeah, well,
now you got the idiot threatening. Now you got the idiot threatening Guam, which North Korea is also set to launch another missile potentially this Saturday in North Korea, which will be late Friday night into Saturday morning here in the States, on a regular trajectory. You know, normally they launch them almost perfectly straight up so they don't go too terribly far. Well, they're going to launch this one on a similar trajectory to what they would do if they were attacking someone. So I'm waiting to see what they overfly this time, because they're going to have to overfly something, if not a bunch of somethings.
or it could go like most of the rest of their missile tests, and we could make sure that the mental midget of the North knows that when his phallic symbols don't go up the way he expects them to, there are pills for that. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Anyway, so, yeah, Mom Jeans definitely gets a fail on diplomatic and policy and international affairs in my book. And then you've got all the chaos that, well, Trump is supposedly stirring up with Russia. Now, Putin has actually come out and said he's not part of any of that noise. Well, I find the most interesting thing about North Korea, and this is actually a clip from the UN Russian representative to the UN.
Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
I heard a Skype sound effect, and I thought I'd lost you because right about that time you cut out. But as long as you're still there, I'm guessing we're good. This is probably more of that Skype weirdness that Jen and I were experiencing about an hour ago.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going on, but I'm still here, and I was just about to play a sound effect, and then I was going to, actually an audio clip, and then I was going to check on you. But yeah, we're still on the air. Now, this was the UN ambassador to Russia, and this is what he had to say about North Korea.
Look, I'm saying that sanctions alone, whatever bans are introduced, will not help to solve the issue, because the aim is to stop the nuclearization, to go for denuclearization, and eventually, hopefully, to come back to the six-party talks. So whatever measures we are planning now, I'm not sure that they will influence the other side to abandon what they have been doing, and this is not the way to get parties at the table, which and to seek for a political solution, which we are all in favor of.
Now, what Russia and China have proposed is called a freeze for a freeze, and it means that North Korea would stop their missile and nuclear stuff if we stop our joint exercises with South Korea. And I'm going to let U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, answer. She couldn't say, I couldn't say this more perfectly, but then we'll discuss it in just a moment.
War is never something the United States wants. We don't want it now. But our country's patience is not unlimited. We will defend our allies and our territory. The idea that some have suggested a so-called freeze for freeze is insulting. When a rogue regime has a nuclear weapon and an ICBM pointed at you, you do not take steps to lower your guard. No one would do that. We certainly won't.
Like I said, she called it insulting. I'll bet we could both come up with stronger words, but I am going to keep it family friendly and say it is horse hockey. There is no way we should lower our readiness with the quackers or the mental midget of the North or the lunatic to the North, however you want to phrase this particular character. And North Korea has promised to send more gifts our way. Had you heard that one, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I like what he means by gifts.
No, but here's the other interesting thing. Now, North Korea doesn't do press conferences very often at the United Nations. All right? They really don't. They tend to just not do them. I don't know how else to explain it, but they don't do them. Any way, shape, or form, they rarely do them. But they've done 2. Now, this one was a couple months old, and it's a little hard to listen to, but it's only 37 seconds long, so we are going to run with it. And it's quite intriguing.
If the United States persists in enter the DPRK, the sanctions, without understanding its rival, the administration will have to take full responsibility for the ensuring catastrophic the consequences. The United States should mind that the DPRK nuclear strike capability will be strengthened and developed at a rapidly high speed, as long as the United States insists its entire policy, nasty nuclear threat and blackmail, and sanction and pressure.
Now, Rick, were you able to piece together? I know the words were in English, but were you able to follow what he was saying?
Actually, honestly, it kind of cut out a little bit on my end too, so it was actually kind of hard for me to follow, even probably more than it was on your end, because I lost about 2 or 3 keywords, I think. So,
well, basically,
just in case anybody else wasn't able to translate broken English to regular English, what was it he was saying?
That if the United States keeps insisting on the diplomatic pressure and the sanctions, they're going to have to bear the weight of the quote-unquote catastrophic consequences. Now, I'm inclined to say 2 things on this. I am very much inclined to say 2 things. 1, I have no idea why we would back down, because it is far from our best interests to do so. Number 2, I cannot begin to tell you what he means by catastrophic consequences other than an attack. What else can they do? We are still technically in a state of war with this lunatic. There is no peace treaty. There has never been a peace treaty on the Korean Peninsula. It is a ceasefire. One miscalculation could send that whole thing over the edge, up in smoke.
Yeah, so might want to repeat that bit for the folks following along at home, because I think you just hit the nail on something that not very many people talk about, and it's something that they don't even really teach in history books anymore, because, you know, God knows we don't really teach civics or history anymore. So, again, as a reminder, there was never any type of treaty signed with North Korea. So as far as the actual rules of engagement go and how this stuff is technically supposed to work, we have been in a long-standing war since the 50s, because it never actually really stopped. It's just kind of been put on pause, and nobody wants to look at it that way because it's not a hot war, so to speak. But it might as well be, because he's threatening us with things. They've tried cyber attacks multiple times. He's now lobbing missiles every other week just because it makes him feel better. I mean, granted, I think part of that's because the dude has to use a step stool to go to the bathroom. So anything that makes him feel better and bigger, you know, he's got to save face in front of the rest of the world. I mean, when you have to, I mean, come on, think about it. When you have to, when you literally have to use a step stool to be able to reach a toilet, you got a problem. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, according to North Korean propaganda, he doesn't have to use a toilet.
Well, this is true. I forgot. He's some sort of a deity.
Anyway, yeah. Now, as if that wasn't enough rhetoric from North Korea, I got one more clip. Now, at least this one isn't as broken English, because this was their representative up in Geneva, and evidently his English is considerably better.
I am proud of saying that just 2 days ago, on 3rd of September, DPRK successfully carried out the hydrogen bomb test for intercontinental ballistic rocket and its plan for building a strategic nuclear force. The test is part of normal activities according to policy line of the Workers' Party of Korea to simultaneously push forward economic construction and building of nuclear force. The recent self-defensive measures by my country, DPRK, are gift package addressed to none other than the U.S. The U.S. will receive more gift packages from my country as long as it relies on reckless provocations and futile attempt to put pressure on the DPRK. My delegation also takes this opportunity to once again reject categorically the sanction resolutions adopted by the UN Security Council, which has now reduced to political tool serving for despicable U.S. hostile policy towards my country, DPRK. Pressure or sanction will never work on my country. The DPRK will never, under any circumstance, put its nuclear deterrence on the negotiating table.
Well, I think that kind of sums it up. They will never put it on the negotiating table. Not with us, not with anyone. So why do China and Russia actually think they can get the mental midget to back down? And quite frankly, if they send one of those gifts, I don't care what color it's wrapped in or how brightly it's wrapped, our way, and it actually hits something, it's game over.
Well, I mean, let's put this in perspective. I mean, yeah, they finally have missiles that they can do something with, maybe, if they can get them to hit their targets. But so far, all they've really done is proven that they can launch things into the air. They haven't really done anything as far as any tactical strikes everything that I've seen in the news, at least anyway. I mean, you probably know this better than I do, so if I'm speaking out of turn, just let me know. But everything that I've seen, they basically throw it up in the air, they cheer, and they watch it come down, and it lands in the water, and they're like, oh, look, we've just thumbed our nose at the great America because we have the midget who is our god who just did this thing. And I'm all sitting over here going, you're talking about gifts. You can't even get them to stay in the air for more than however long they've actually stayed in the air. I don't know. I'm overly not concerned. Maybe I should be because he's nuts. But, the reason I'm not is because, despite everything else, because I have really mixed feelings about a lot of things that Trump has done this week. The one thing I'm pretty sure he will do, if it comes to it, is basically kill the mental midget of the North if he has to. If he's dumb enough to do something that stupid, I really don't see him being very long for the planet.
Well, I do have a comeback, and I will let Admiral Harris explain why it doesn't matter if their targeting system's a little bit off.
Well, I don't know if those missiles can actually hit what they're aimed at, but like horseshoes and hand grenades, getting close is all that's needed when you're dealing with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, well, that's provided they can actually manage to arm the warhead too. I don't know. He's an idiot.
Well, I have a feeling that I do have one other clip, and then I'm going to tell you why this is not going to be as big of a political hot potato as people are making it out to be, at least on the domestic side.
A decade ago, we were worried primarily with North Korea about, one, a single actor, and number two, a conventional war that might take place. Today, if you look at most strategists when they're concerned about North Korea, they realize that any conflict we may have multiple actors involved, and we're certainly looking at multiple domains. No longer are we limited to conventional war. We may very well be looking now at nuclear, cyber, and even space challenges that we have.
Like I said, this won't be a conventional war anymore. Now, why I think Trump, if he wants to restart this disaster, can just flat out do it. I don't think he needs to go to Congress and get a declaration of war.
Because the other one was never shut. There was nothing ever stopped the first one, so there's no reason to get another one.
Exactly, and I'm willing to bet that most people haven't thought that all the way through. As long as South Korea is on board, and, well, they would be, because we are required to get their permission if we institute anything against North Korea, because they would be the first strike casualties, then guess what? He doesn't need one, folks. So all the posturing and preening I've seen from congressmen and senators saying they'll never approve it, good luck, Chuck. That boat sailed 50 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever, back in the 1950s when the first one happened.
Yeah, well, nobody really thinks about that because everybody just assumes that because we sent our troops home that there was some sort of a treaty that was signed. And if you go actually look, they never really stopped anything. They just kind of put it on pause.
I know. Now, speaking of pause, do you know what time it is?
Time to pay the bills. Yay!
Yes, it is time to pay the bills. And I'm looking, little secret behind the scenes news, guys. I'm actually pushing the buttons for the night and letting Rick sit back and relax and chit chat. All right, so time to pay the bills.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for. This means war. Lock 'em up, knock 'em down. This means war.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods in your faces.
Okay, well, I thought I heard Bumper there for a second. I'm not sure if I've lost Jess. All right, as far as I know, I think we're still live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and we're coming to you live from KLRNRadio.com. I still see her here, so I think she's here, but
just
we're having
in the
some
corner.
connection.
Just hiding in the corner, darling. And I didn't want to have the bumper playing while you were talking over it, because you know how these funky soundboards work.
Yeah, I usually just drop it down to like almost no volume and then talk over it, but that's okay. Not a big deal. It disappeared on me and I wasn't sure if I lost you. All right, so anyway, you said when we came back from break you had some stuff you wanted to talk about, so why don't you take it away?
All right. Contrary to popular belief that I don't follow political news, I do. I just choose not to talk about it, at least not on my show. Because, quite frankly, I think we need to have a little bit of diversity on the station, so I choose to provide it with the international and military news side of things. Now, that being said, I do watch these political nitwits and nincompoops. What in the bloody blazes is Trump doing playing little rollover puppy dog? He just freaking rolled over and made a deal with the Democrats. Now, not that reaching across the aisle is all that bad, but I'd like to know what he's been drinking so we can spike it with Republican juice instead of rhino juice, because he is positively out of his ever-loving mind. While the Democrats, I will say, have held up every single nomination of his, including some of the very minor ones, and it was until June or July after he was in office that he finally had a complete cabinet. Hello, Democrats, you're being idiots. There is no rhyme or freaking reason why you have to reward such outlandish, stupid, and childish behavior. Now, the Senate is supposed to be a forum specifically known for debate. Well, you know what? If you guys take month-long frickin' vacations, what sort of debate are you having? Nothing. You're throwing your toys out of the cot and going the bleep home. And that is not serving the interest of the people that put you in office. We did not vote for you to take month-long vacations. We voted our representatives, both senators and congressmen, into office to be our elected representatives, not to take month-long vacations and decide to go take them early. In fact, the most recent August recess was the longest in over a decade in a non-election year. What do you think that says about the job you are doing for the American citizens? You're failing. And Congress, Senate, this is my impression of all of y'all. Okay, Rick.
Okay, hang on. You're like all up in my gig here. I'm supposed to be the ranty one of the station. You were actually yelling so loudly I had to turn my headset down. I don't think I've ever heard. Well, I don't think I've ever heard you that fired up before. Not that I don't agree. I do agree with most of what you said, except I think you chose the wrong verb choice. He didn't roll over. He bent over and took it straight from the same people that have been holding up his cabinet nominees, all because he wanted to stick it to the Republicans because he feels like they haven't been playing nicely with him because he is a narcissistic, sycophantic moron. And I don't know any other way to say this other than, hey, guess what? I'm pretty sure if you go back and you listen to the show from yesterday, about a year ago, I specifically said if we don't find a way to vote for neither one of them, we're going to get hosed because no matter what happens, we're going to see within about a year a sharp swerve to the left from either of them, and Hillary can't go much further left, and if Trump goes left, it will absolutely destroy the Republican Party, because he knows, because he's seen the numbers, that 60% of his base are going to support him no matter what he does. So he will drag them kicking and screaming across the aisle, and there will be all of these stages of Trumpism disbelief that start out with, well, WTF? Well, no, hang on. He's got to just be playing the Democrats, right? This is some sort of chess game for Trump, right? Oh, wait, you know what? Now that we're kind of working with these folks, I don't mind Nancy Pelosi so much. She's kind of cool. And that'll be the end of the Republican Party, and it's exactly what's starting to happen in front of our eyes, and nobody wants to talk about it or acknowledge it. Even really, really intelligent people that I know that have completely drunk the Trumpster Kool-Aid are calling me a moron because I just don't understand his 4 million move 4D chess game. And I don't, because here's my thing. So you take DACA, right? So he did the right thing with that for the most part. He kicked it back down to Congress because they're the ones that are supposed to fix that stuff. So he basically shelved it, said, we're going to kick it back down here. You guys fix it. But then he had to go Trumpy. You've only got 6 months to do it or else I'm going to do something about it. Shouldn't have done that. Should have left it with Congress. Then at the same time while he's doing that, he's meeting with Democrats and Republicans and giving the Democrats everything that they want, even though they have opposed the majority of his cabinet appointments, including a short-term continuing resolution for funding, which basically gives them everything they need right before we start rolling the calendar around for the midterm elections, which on its face is terrible enough because it makes him look like he's wanting to stick it to the Republicans, which he is, because he doesn't like them, because they won't play nicely with him. But it's also really, really great optics for the Democrats, because everything that I heard from the local stations this morning on the regular news shows were clips about all these people that were so surprised at how quickly Donald Trump has started working with Democrats and how he gave them everything they asked for with the continuing resolution funding, and how it's such terrible optics for him but such a great move for the Democrats because it makes them look like they understand the game much better than he does. Which is unfortunately the truth, because he doesn't understand how this stuff works. The thing about it is, we always say we want somebody who is willing to reach across the aisle, and that is the truth. But we don't want somebody who's going to reach across the aisle and turn around, pull their pants down, and bend over, which is what he just did.
Well, I gotta say, this isn't the first time he's pulled this stunt. This happens to be the second for the record. And it is the second because he did it with the previous CR, where he could have actually had some influence on that, because Obama couldn't get off his 6 o'clock and pass a freaking budget, which is, well, I'm not going to rant about Obama because, well, he's no longer in office, although he's still a pain in my 6 o'clock, because he won't just shut up and play dead like most presidents. Past presidents, they get out of the limelight and they're just quite happy to collect their pension and sit around and sip iced tea on the front porch. No, he has to start ranting and raving when DACA is repealed. Well, excuse me, President Obama, you had a chance to get it through Congress. You couldn't do it. So, shut up. You even said it was temporary. So, Obama, you need to shut up and go help your daughters with homework or something. And leave this to the current administration, of which you have no say. Now, that being said, I must also say that Trump, yes, he either rolled over or bent over, take your pick, I don't care which. He is a rhino of the worst kind. He is a rhino in sheep's clothing, and I wish there was a way that the country could have voted none of the above. Unfortunately, he is the President of the United States and the Commander-in-Chief of its armed forces. Now, I do not wish for him to fail. And for the record, I did not vote for either. I voted Libertarian. Now, that's a whole other kettle of creatures, and we will not go there. But
Brownie power! Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Ha ha. But now that he is the president, can somebody give him a brain transplant? Or at least
I don't think
straighten out his moral compass?
I don't think anybody wants to go. Never mind. I'm really about to not be nice because I'm sleep deprived. So, never mind. just suffice it to say, I'm not exactly sure his brain's in his head. You guys can do the rest of the math. I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't be, because I've seen this coming for over a year, but I have to say it actually hurt to see exactly what I knew was going to happen happening right in front of me, and have people defending it. You know, to take this one step further, you know, forget the DACA ultimatum, forget the backroom deal to get the continued resolution for funding, just to make sure that he gets the Hurricane Harvey funding when he could have done a resolution to get that instead. He was campaigning for Democrats. He was at a stump speech for a Democrat who, if you look at that Democrat's record, has voted with him maybe 47% of the time, but he just lambasted someone publicly by the name of Jeff Flake, who votes with him 97% of the time, even if they disagree publicly and have done so vehemently. Jeff Flake has still been towing the majority of the party line. But Donald Trump just told everybody what a great person a Democrat was, who only votes with him 50% of the time. None of these things make sense. No matter who you listen to, they don't make sense. If you are part of the Trump echo chamber, you can find folks that will try to help you make sense of it. But that's because you're buying into the nonsense, because this does not make sense. For a sitting president who has faced opposition from the Democratic Party, the likes that he has faced, for him to basically turn around and say, hey, you know, I know you guys have been dicks to me this whole time, and you're not letting me get most of my appointments done. I still don't really have half the things that I need to have done. But you know what? That continuing resolution for funding you wanted, yeah, we're going to go ahead and give that to you now. No, wait, no. I know I talked tough about this one and said they weren't going to get this one because the only reason I did the last one was because technically it was supposed to be part of Obama's budget and it should have been done already anyway. But hey, guess what? This one's actually mine now, and we're going to do it this way because this is how I did. I mean, we're back to Mojo Jojo again. You will do these things that I've told you to do because I've told you to do them because I'm Mojo Jojo. That's how I envision Trump talking to people about the decisions that he makes, because it's like he doesn't know what he's going to do from one second to the next. He's running the entire country by the seat of his pants, which I'm pretty sure also might be where his brain is located. Oh, damn, I actually said it anyway. Never mind.
Well, I would have to say that he needs to pull his head out of his six, but Host Kitty has something he'd like to say about most everything Trump has done recently. And that pretty well sums it up. A good old kitty hiss.
I was waiting for the hairball cough.
No, he just likes to hiss. What can I say? But, I'm sorry. President Trump, you had a chance to actually impact this one. You could have gotten a continuing resolution on your terms, because no Democrat wanted to be seen holding up funding for the hurricane victims, either the ones that are about to come in Florida or the ones in Houston or Texas that were so badly impacted by the previous storm. And by the way, not that this is a weather report, but guess what? There's another one called Jose that is now a Category 3 on the heels of Irma. Oh yes, this is going to be fun times. And I have a funny thing to say. Now, you know Doc, right? A.K.A. Judy L. Moore?
Yes.
Her take on the whole thing is Trump denied climate change, so Mother Nature said, hold my beer and watch this. Now, that's not to say climate change is responsible for all this stuff, but I love the fact that she attributes a sense of humor to Mother Nature.
Wait, hang on. What was that? You kind of broke up.
Doc, a.k.a. Dr. Judy L. Moore, host of Conversations in Science, said that Mother Nature basically said to Trump, basically said to its cohorts, hold my beer and watch this, and then unleashed fire and fury of its own kind. Never mind the lunatics that are saying that there's a weather machine controlling the weather and that someone down in the government is pushing all levers to inflict hurricanes on the U.S., but that's tinfoil hat-wearing loon crowd. I'm sorry.
Huh.
Yeah. I thought I have to give her props for giving Mother Nature a sense of humor, because, well, I do think there is a sense of humor to be had in all this, although, no, I'm not laughing at any of the victims. I'm laughing at the fact that a scientist thinks Mother Nature has a sense of humor, and, well, I'd have to say it could be very much karma. Now, back to politics. Senators, congressmen, get off your six, stay in session, and get this frickin' crap done. You are not paid to go home and sit on your front porch and drink iced tea for months at a time. Or insert your favorite adult beverage here. You are paid to be in Washington, D.C. doing the people's business. And yes, there are trips home to your districts that you should take and do take. However, they do not need to be 1 month long stints. You need Republicans. Why couldn't you get your acts together and vote for a straight up repeal of Obamacare? You've been screaming about this for 7 years. You think you would have actually already had some legislation drawn up about it? No. Fail. DACA. I'm sure you guys have wanted to get your hands on that piece of legislation for quite some time. Why don't you already have something to deal with it? Maybe you didn't see it coming, but it was an executive order. So for all the people out there saying that what Trump did was illegal, you show me the bill that was passed by both chambers of the United States Congress and Senate and signed by a president, and I'll tell you it was a law. Otherwise, it was an executive order, and instituted by an executive order can be repealed by executive order. Plain and simple. Go check your facts, folks. I am sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, that's illegal. He can't do that. Well, excuse me, but President Barack Obama even said he didn't have the power to change the laws with a phone and a pen, but of course he went and tried anyway. But he did it in such a way that the next president could and has reversed it. Now, for those who are in the country under the DACA program, I wish you no ill will. If you are here and you are law-abiding, other than the fact you were snuck into this country as a child, granted most of you are young adults and working by now, hopefully, guess what? Get with the program, start the pathway to citizenship or permanent resident status or whatever you want, but if you have committed no crimes other than your entry into this country, I can see my way clear to looking past that. Now, if you're one of these who's out there causing mayhem and mischief, there's the door. Get out. I do not want you here. I'm sorry, I have read and heard and talked to one too many people who have been negatively impacted by quote-unquote DACA people who have been committed crimes, and yet, guess what? They shouldn't have been here in place one, but they were, and someone lost their life. They didn't have a driver's license, so they hit and killed someone. They fired a firearm. They robbed someone. Well, you know what? You don't deserve to stay in my country. I'm very proud of this country, and as far as I'm concerned, its safety and security comes above all else. And if that means you gotta go to keep our country safe, by all means, there's the door. And I will get you a plane ticket out of here.
You know, you really shouldn't hold things back like that. Tell us how you really feel next time.
I told you I needed to rant politically. I don't think you believed me.
I wouldn't necessarily say I didn't believe you, but I have to admit I don't think I've ever heard you this fired up before. That's saying.
Well, here's the thing. Illegal immigration and Swiss cheese borders, for lack of a term, are a direct threat to this country. And that puts it on my radar more than most people realize, because I actually do keep an eye on U.S. news that impacts the border, because that's border patrol and things that aren't generally covered. Now, I wish that Donald, there are pictures and images. Now, thankfully, thanks to Trump and his hard stance, and I don't know if it's attributable to that or attributable to something else, there has been a dramatic decrease just because of his rhetoric. There has been a dramatic decrease of people sneaking into this country. DACA was meant to be temporary. So, Congress, you got your chance to fix it. Make it work. Fix it. Do something. Get off your sixes and actually earn your frickin' overbloated paychecks with pensions for life, even if you only serve one term. Never mind some of you dinosaurs that need to retire, and I will not name names. Rick, in a moment, if you want to, I will shut up and let you do so. If you do not have the physical ability to be in Congress on mostly a regular basis, and no, I am not talking about Congressman Scalise, who was shot. He has suffered something under attack. It was not like he had a terminal illness, or it's not like he had routine health problems prior to this. He was playing freaking softball and was shot in the hip. That causes major issues for some time. He is probably still undergoing physical therapy for that, and I hold no ill will if he misses a vote or two. I am talking about the person who can barely walk, who can't get to a vote on time, without 3 aides in a wheelchair to get him to the door so nobody sees that they're having trouble, or the one who's so tired they don't even get out of bed until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. By then they've missed 16 votes.
Hey, Maverick, I think she's talking about you. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? My bad.
Like I said, Rick, I've needed to blow off some political steam for a little while here. Just haven't had time to come on. Would you believe we only have a few minutes left in the show?
Yeah, actually, that kind of seems like we're kind of rounding out the corners here, because it seems to be about getting to be that time. So, yeah, fun times.
I told you I'd do a lot of the talking tonight.
Yeah, we should have just renamed it the Jess Ranch Show. But that's fine. I'm not complaining.
Well, sorry if I blew anybody's ears off. At least I didn't scream like I do at the close of my show.
Yeah, I don't think... Well, I have access to volume control, so it wasn't really that big a deal. But yeah, it was kind of surprising.
Hey, that's what happens when I don't want to talk too much politics on my show. I touch around the edges, but... like I always say on my show, I will never tell you what Senator Stupid or Candidate Stupid said on the campaign trail. You want that? There are plenty of other shows on KLRNRadio.com where you can get that. I might tell you what's going on in the Iranian elections, which, surprising little fact 99.9% of Americans do not know. The Iranian elections this past time for president actually had a Tinder-style app to help you pick your candidate. Did I leave you speechless, Rick?
Actually, you kind of cut out there towards the end. So what was that last little bit that you had said?
Iran, their past election cycle, had a Tinder-style app to help you pick your candidate. Interesting twist on technology.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy stuff I'll cover, or I'll tell you what Erdogan's doing, which, of course, he's up to his eyeballs in all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, Rick, with 2 minutes to go, I guess it's about time.
Yeah. So why don't you remind folks, since you are technically the guest, even though you've been producing and you kind of ran away with the show, why don't you remind folks where it is they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me, since you do 2 other shows of your own and other guest appearances?
All right, well, for anybody looking to track me down, you can find me on Twitter at Jessie's POV. You can email me at the station, jessiespov at KLRNradio.com. If you want to know about my other show, Jessie's Coffee Shop, it has its own website, jessiescoffeeshop.com, and of course a page right here on the station website at KLRNradio.com. And I think that's about most of it.
All right, and of course, you can hang out with me on AOTR_host on Twitter, And you can also follow along with several different shows. I do the Jen and Rick Show now on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Eastern. America Off the Rails, which is this one, Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Both of which are now available on iHeart. We do Robinson and Wright on Friday night. We're still waiting to see whether we get a positive submission back from them on that one. But we hope to have some news about that one soon. I do want to close out the show talking about that because all of a sudden we have kind of caught fire when it comes to iHeart. We've got your author and book related show was
Jesse's
one of the most
Coffee Shop.
Jesse's Coffee Shop, and then the Conservative Curmudgeon followed right behind that one, along with One Nation Under Fu. Those both hit at the same time, and then I don't honestly even remember hitting the button to resubmit Jen and Rick, but I just noticed it tonight when we were fighting with the system. Why is the iHeart button red on this thing? I don't wait. Maybe I did submit that one, and so yeah, apparently. I'm getting to the point now where I'm about to start emailing iHeart directly and be like, look, you have like 90% of our shows as podcasts. Why don't you just pick up the station?
Hey, be a good thing to talk to Ann about. Well, guess what, Rick? We're officially over time.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and round this thing out? You guys have a great night. I'll be back with you tomorrow night on Robinson and Wright, probably a little bit later than usual because for some reason there are lots of home games this season, and I promised the wife I would at least go to the home football games. So probably starting about 15 minutes later than usual, but we do still plan on doing the show.
And at 9 p.m. tomorrow night, there is an episode of Jesse's Coffee Shop with another outstanding author on KLRNRadio.com.
I think that's going to do it for tonight.